bright morning. Welcome to Wild Woodland Lavender Farm. Last night we had a bit of excitement around here, middle of the night. I was about ready to head to bed shortly and happened to look out. Sorry, I smell something that had to do with last night. So yeah, I looked out on one of our back porches and I saw this bushy little tail. And I thought, oh, is that one of the raccoons coming back to try to get some cat food? So I looked out the window and no, there was a skunk having a standoff with one of my little kitties. And yeah, it's the first time I've seen a skunk out at this property. I used to see them occasionally at our old property. And anyway, I got a broom and I made some noise on the back porch there and I scared it off. It had its tail raised and was pointing it at my kitten. So yeah, I was a little worried. I had a smelly cat to take care of afterwards, but thank goodness it wasn't sprayed. But I thought that was that. It headed out the back gate towards our pasture here, and I thought, okay, he's gone. But of course, a little while later, I heard a fuss in the chicken coop, and I'm like, oh no. So I came out here, and my broody hen was right over here by herself, and there was noise happening in the chicken coop. And just as I suspected, as I came in to check on things, there were chickens all over, and the nest with the eggs had been gotten into. Hello, chickens. Yeah, I'm sorry you're locked in here. had to keep the skunk out, you guys. They were all in a daze last night, so I'm going to go get some feed for them and get them settled down eating. But with my trusty broom, I chased the skunk out. He came out the door over here, which is how he got in. And so as I was checking on the chickens in there, I came out to try to see where the skunk was going. I had this gate open to see if it would go out there, but instead it slipped through a hole. Whoops, I don't know if you can see, if you're pointing the right way. It slipped through a hole right down there. So obviously I need to do some fortifications. I want to do that before I get the chickens out of the coop, because I have some of those chickens that like to sneak up on me. So gonna get these guys some food and some water because it's gonna get hot today. And yeah, it's supposed to get over 100 degrees today, so I don't want to leave them in the coop too long because they'll get kind of hot in there. But I might actually let them free range outside the coop and let them have a little bit of treats that way, and then I can close them out of the chicken yard and work. I think my plan is I'm gonna get some pavers and just kind of level out the ground here and then stick the pavers up. They just had some 2x4s down there to block it, but that's not good enough anymore. So I'm gonna get some pavers to lean up against there, kind of level it out and block off access, and see if we can keep that chicken out of my coop. Or sorry, that skunk out of my coop. Oh, I forgot to say, we have these 4 chickens wandering about rather than being in the coop with the others, because instead of going into the coop at night, they like to fly up to the top of the fence and sleep up there at night, which one of these nights an owl or something is gonna get them. So but at least they're free at least they're free this morning while the other chickens aren't. But I'm kind of smelling I'm kind of smelling a skunk smell out here, so that's what I was smelling earlier. But things seem to be fine. It's just a faint smell, so nothing bad. All right, to work. So that's the mama hen that was sitting on the nest, and I have a feeling she's not so broody anymore. Let's go take a look at the nest and see the damage that's been done. Now, she's still pretending to be broody. I can promise you there's still no eggs under her. But back here is where the nest was. And what happened here? All the eggs are gone. Did the skunk get back in? I closed up the coop. What happened? How did it get back in? There had been a broken egg back there, and then I pushed 2 eggs that had been scooted out here. I pushed them back here, but now just the whole nest is gone. So how did the little bugger get in? Unless the chickens did something with it. Maybe they're under the hay. No. Oh dear. So the only thing I can think of that happened to the eggs is the chickens went cannibalistic this morning. I don't see any evidence of broken eggs or anything, but that's not uncommon. When they've eaten an egg, they tend to not even leave the shell behind, so that's the only thing I can think of, because the skunk shouldn't have been able to get back in, at least not without being able to get outside. This little door down here, he could have gotten in there, I guess, but he'd have to be able to know to lift it to get back in, so I'm not sure what happened. I suppose he could have gotten in, but didn't hear any more chickens fussing, but since mama hen wasn't on the floor anymore with the eggs, it's possible that it got back in and was able to get back out. What a bummer. I was hoping for a few more chicks. Oh well. Now I've got to fortify the fort. Right, I have some pavers here that we took out when we took out these arborvitae that are by our shop here. We have a video about that if you want to watch a pickup truck pulling out an arborvitae by its roots. But around the arborvitae were some rocks, and then some of these cement decorative things like this. So I cleaned all those up and stacked them up to move along at some point, but I actually have a use for these pavers. So these are heading over to the chicken coop. That's 8 of them. And I have some more. I'm sure we're going to need a little bit more than that. So I've got some more, but first this fills up my little red wagon. So I'm going to go take those off. Dump them off at the chicken coop before I go get more. phone call a little bit ago, so I had to take a break, and then about 20 other things came up that I needed to take care of. But I'm finally out here to finish emptying the wagon, and I have probably just enough time to go gather up some more of the other pavers we have elsewhere on the property, and then I need to go fix lunch. And it's getting pretty hot already. Let me see here. Yeah, 11:20 already, and we're at 88 degrees already. So I think I'll be gathering up the pavers, and then I'm gonna work on that, putting them up later when it's not quite so hot, probably this evening sometime. So gonna go get the pavers and go fix lunch. In our front yard here, along the grass, between the grass and the border area, they have these pavers, and they're probably just trying to create a defined line between the grass and the side area, but it's not really my style. I like things to be a lot more free and natural and not so defined. At our old place, we actually had those curbs that are, you know, placed and designed or put in place and curved, and didn't like those at all, so I took those out. These will be a little bit easier to take out than those curbs were, for sure. So I'm going to take some of these. There's even some up here by the sidewalk as well. Maybe they were trying to keep the grass from going up onto the sidewalk, I don't know. But this will be coming out and being moved to the chicken coop area to keep skunks out of my coop. Uncovering ants, and over here we have all these, I don't know if you can see them there, lots of ants and carrying their eggs. And then I lift this one and there's a whole lot of larvae there. Bigger, these ones are bigger it seems than those right next door. A lot bigger. But man, they're scrambling to get those covered up into safety. But under every single one of these I've uncovered ants living. They're just scurrying around. This one we had a lot of the roly-polies, bunch of earwigs too. They all just went scrambling for safety. Alright, I think that's about all I can carry in my little red wagon. So I'm going to take this load out there and just be done until it cools off later. I don't know if it's any cooler now than it was earlier today when I quit working. Still quite warm, 6:30 at night now. But I wanted to get this done before the evening time, before dark, so that I can deter skunks from entering. So right down there is where he was coming in and out. There's currently a couple logs there, a couple wood planks, but I'm gonna make it a little more secure. I'm gonna try to smooth the ground out so that I can put the pavers on there evenly. So. This is an area where the chickens can get out of the sun a little bit, and it's also where they take dust baths, so they've dug into the ground quite a bit right in here. And looking further at this, these 2x4s are actually doing a pretty good job of keeping things out, except for that one area. The 2x4 wasn't long enough and that log over there wasn't long enough, so there was a little bit of gap. So I filled that up. I'll flatten it a little bit more, and then I might need to only put maybe one paver right there for now, and that might be secure enough for the time being. I might put one right down there too. Kind of feel like I'm taking my life in my hands right now, being so close to where the skunk had access. Like we might only need the two, but I'll put this one here just for good measure. Build up some dirt around the back of them so they aren't easy to push down. So right around the corner of the chicken coop door, there's a little nook here where the fence is kind of cockeyed to the building. And there's some boards here already, and I don't see any activity of digging or anything. Right outside the fence, next to that wood post, there used to be a hole. And then further out over there was another hole at one time, but I haven't actually seen very much activity from there. It's got clods of dirt and straw and stuff that looks like it hasn't been disturbed for a while. So don't think the skunk is coming in there. Maybe possible that where this chicken is, no, I don't see any digging possibility there. So let's walk around. None right there either. Of course, that's where we were just working. Got the 2x4s blocking it there, and they're pretty secure, it seems. So the only other area that it could possibly happen, but of course no signs of digging at this point, are right along here. I can always come in later if I see signs of digging and put up pavers along there, which I very likely might do. Otherwise, then it's fencing, and this is the fence that I just put up last week. There are some possible holes where it could get in. I mean, this is kind of a gap here, but not down low. Still a possibility of getting in. Hey, Ricky. Not much of a gap there to be able to get in. So, along this fence is pretty secure as well. Although, seeing right there, there's a possibility for a small critter to get through. Maybe I'll fill that in with some dirt and see if it's disturbed tomorrow. Some of these boards and stuff were put up because when we had baby chicks before, they were getting out of the fence. So we put up a quick fix to keep the baby chicks in. And I can see here the dirt is getting kind of low, so I'll have to come in, and for now it has that rotting board, and there's a paver or something right there that's keeping it secure. So no dangers there right now, but I can see that that's something that I need to fix. Another place for a hole right there. So I might just come along and fill those in real quick before the evening's up. Yeah, everything else looks pretty secure. So I'm just gonna fill in those little spots real quick with some dirt, and I think that'll be it for tonight. I think I'm still going to lock up the doors for the chickens. I don't usually, because they have been pretty secure in here since we moved here. 9 months that they've been fairly secure in there. I've never had an incident before where there's been coons or opossums getting in there. And like I said, this is the first time I've seen the skunk around here. So now that I know it's around, I'll take extra precautions. And for now, I'm going to lock them up at night and just kind of keep an eye out for the skunk again. So thanks for joining us here for this adventure on Wild Woodland Lavender Farm. We'll see you next time. Bye.